going on, everyone? Welcome back to Getting Technical, episode 44. We got Julian and we got Nick on again. Trade deadline just ended, so these are what the teams are going to look like outside of a few buyout guys. But how you guys feeling after the deadline? It was a pretty good deadline.
Royce!
Oh my
Let's
God.
go, baby. Listen. 3-and-D we needed. He can shoot the ball. He's a great passer, underrated passer. He's now the assist to turnover leader on our team. Better than Devin Booker at 2.8 per game. So my man is the perfect fit we needed. We're the 5 seed. I think we're gonna finish at the 3 seed and then go from there. But and then we got that cat from Memphis too. I don't know his name, but I think he's a dog. I saw his stats. He's putting up like 8 a game, and I'll take that as a 9th or 10th man. I'll take that.
You talking about David Roddy?
Yeah.
Cool. No, I mean, yes, that's a very nice take from the Suns fan, but I think for the Knicks, definitely it was a very positive trade deadline. I'm getting 2 big pieces. Obviously, Alec Burks reuniting him with the Knicks, and then getting Boyan as well was very helpful. We'll see, though. Not great to hear the news about OG being out and obviously Brunson being hurt, but the All-Star break is coming up, so hopefully we get healthy soon. But I definitely think that's the Knicks are the winner of the trade deadline across the NBA.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think at least as far as like biggest names, like I think the Knicks won that category. Like they gave up Grimes, who they've been high on, who reportedly in the Donovan Mitchell trade was like untouchable. Obviously that's changed with how well Dante DiVincenzo's been playing. The rest of the team, he's kind of struggled. He hasn't taken that leap that they thought he was gonna take. But yeah, I mean, to get those 2 guys, and the one thing the Knicks really couldn't do in the playoffs last year was they couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
And you've seen it recently with obviously OG and Randall have been out, but they struggle shooting the 3. And in today's NBA, it's really it's such a huge contributor to winning basketball. And the fact that they would get a lot of really high quality shots from their offense, but they just weren't knocking them down. So now to have a guy, Alec Burks, who the Knicks are comfortable playing with, like he's played under Tibbs. Tibbs knows how to use him. And to get Bogdanovich, who's just a proven guy, he's been in the league for a while. He's a great offensive talent. I think it was a huge win for them. And I think now, I mean, like we were talking about this, like maybe getting into like the top teams in each conference right now. I think it's pretty clear with the moves. If the Knicks can get healthy, OG comes off. I'm not worried about the surgery. I actually think it was a good idea. Just get it over with. He's got the All-Star break. They've built themselves a little bit of a cushion to kind of get to a place where they can afford to have him get the surgery, miss some time, and like be okay.
Yeah, it was interesting that the Woj bomb was not that he is going to have surgery, but it was he had surgery. So I think this was kind of coming down the pipeline for a while now.
Yeah, because once the news came out, like, was it yesterday that it came out that it was a bone spur and not just elbow inflammation?
Yes, it was yesterday.
Once that came out, like, people were kind of talking, and they're like, it's really not a super intensive surgery. It's not invasive. They're basically just going to, I think, shave, like, a little bit of the calcified bone that was getting in the way. So I have
no idea, but I'm just going to say
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And if that's the case, he's probably going to be feeling fine in, like, 2 days. And then it's just going to be, they're going to slowly get him back into everything. But I don't know. I think personally, with all the moves the Knicks made, if they're fully healthy, this is the first time I've thought that they could actually make a run at the title.
Yeah. I do want to kind of temper my expectations with it, too. I'm always going to be the pessimistic Knicks fan at the end of the day. Do I think that – do any of the teams in the East really scare me? And that's kind of where I stand. To win a title, that's a whole different ballgame. I don't want to get there yet, but I can comfortably say that I'm not afraid of any team to embarrass us in a 7-game series in the playoffs this year. I think I'm not scared from the Celtics, as well-rounded and as good as they are. I feel like they are traditionally lay eggs. The Tatum and Brown both don't show up in big spots. We've beaten them in the past. The Bucks. They do scare me because I think they're still shooting like 53% from 3 against the Knicks this season because the ugliest Knicks losses have been to the Bucks. And then I think the Sixers, obviously, if you get Embiid back, but I'm not scared by from any of them. So that's where I stand. The title, I think, is a little. Let's wait to get to the playoffs first.
That's true, but to me, like, it's the same thing with the Suns. It's like, and I always say this is like, you just want to be in the mix. Like, you just want to have a chance. Be a team that, like, when you look at their roster, like, this team can win a championship. And, like, we've seen every year there are guys who do, things happen. Weird things happen, injuries happen, upsets happen. And you just want to be in the mix because you never know. That's why the Raptors won the title that year. I don't think they beat the Warriors if KD, Klay Thompson don't go down. I don't think they win that, but they put themselves in a position. They took the chance, and then the chips fell, and they had a chance. They were right there, and they won the title. I think it's the same thing with the Suns too. Like, if KD and Booker stay healthy, and Beal, like, they can beat anyone. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Like, those guys can. We've seen it last year. Booker and KD basically, they were trying to.
Yeah.
The two of them were trying to drag the Suns to the Western Conference Finals alone. I mean,
I think listen, the Knicks should make the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, the way they're looking, these additions, they can shoot the ball really well now. It would be a really disappointment to, I'm sure, all Knicks fans if they don't make the conference finals. And it is a lot like higher expectations that years past, but. This is what you sign up for when you make these trade deadline deals, and they got to cash in because they got a little pressure now. But
that's where I disagree because we don't have I love Jalen, I love Randall, I like Randall.
Julius is not good for the record.
But for the record, we don't have a top 5 guy in our conference. Right, I think that we don't have an all-star starter. As much as I wanted to say that I really think that Jalen should have been an all-star starter, I understand why we don't have one. Like, even if Jalen wasn't starting, if you said Donovan Mitchell was starting instead, he's not starting. Donovan Mitchell's not starting. But still, my overall point is, it's not disappointing. You can't tell me that we added 4 role players who are going to contribute to the playoffs this year in OG, Precious, Alec Burks, and Bojan Bogdanovic, and say, that's disappointing. And especially, no offense, coming from a Suns fan, who you have the three premier players in the NBA. Like, that's where the pressure.
But 2 premier players.
Listen,
Bradley Beal's not that good.
He's an all-star level player, Bradley Beal, but he ain't like
he's not. Yeah.
He's not KD and Devin Booker. Those are like all NBA guys.
If your checks are that big, and listen,
so is Zach LaVine's check, bro.
Then play like that. And that's where I say the pressure comes. So I'm not trying to take a shot at the Suns, even though I always will take an opportunity to. But I think that we're in a good spot. And the biggest thing that I kept seeing at the end of every tweet from the Knicks moves this week today was, we didn't give up a first-round pick. We still hold all the first-round picks that we had our hands on. So if there's a disgruntled star, who happens to be playing at MSG tonight against the Knicks on the Dallas Mavericks, who we can make a run at in the offseason, I think there's stuff like that can come to fruition for us. So
no, I mean, I guess disappointing was the wrong word. If you told me, I'm sure if I asked you in the beginning of the year, would you guys sign up for being the 2-3 seed, going to the playoffs? Like, you take that in a heartbeat, of course. But where you guys are now, looking at how the rest of the teams are filling out, how they look, I think you should be able to at least make the Eastern Conference Finals. I think you guys could beat Milwaukee. You could beat Boston. Like, you should beat every other team with the way you guys are playing. But you're right. But you never know. Like, you have this record. This record's not guaranteed. Injuries happen. You guys have been relatively healthy all year for the most part. Yeah. For the most part, no huge injuries. But you don't know if you'll be in this position next year or the year after that. So I think now the fact you're here, you got to take advantage of it. And
I definitely agree on that. I do think that our window to strike is now, and I think that's what made it being a no-brainer move to get Bogdanovic, and it made a no-brainer move to get Alec Burks. But it's just I'm coasting with where we are right now. I think that the overreaction and the hate that the Knicks will get if we're saying, "Oh, they should be a 2 or 3 seed," which is going to come. Listen, New York Knicks are valid now. The Athletic is tweeting about us on trade deadline day. You know what I mean? It's like
Zach Lowe.
We're getting national hype, but what comes with national hype, and what, as being a Knicks fan, we all know, is it comes with something stupid happening in response to it. Like, we're going to do something. Like, I'm afraid that if we act like it's the disappointment if we don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, if it's a disappointment if we don't play, if we get swept in the Eastern Conference Finals, or is this for a first round exit, I think that we're going to overreact, do something stupid, and do something that it's just, oh, good old Knicks. So
yeah, I just think there's like levels to like if the Knicks lose in the first round, I don't care. It's a disappointing season if they lose in the first round. If they lose in the second round, but it's competitive, good series, it's a stepping stone, right?
100%.
I don't think last year against the Heat, it wasn't really that competitive. Outside of Jalen Brunson just kind of taking over a few games,
Right.
and Jimmy Butler, you know, they lost in 6, right?
yes, 6.
Yeah. So Jimmy Butler, you know, he was out that one game, that one of the games they won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. The Knicks lost the game he missed.
They won the game he missed.
Okay.
That was the one they won.
So,
Did
yeah,
they win
that's-
one or two? They won two.
I'm pretty sure they won.
I know they won the Jimmy Butler game 2 at home. I think they won one on the road. I mean, I think they lost.
I think it was 6.
Yeah,
I think it was 6.
I'm pretty positive
It
it
was
was
a
6.
6-game series.
But like if they go, I don't think that series to me wasn't super competitive.
Yeah.
I think if they lose in a battle of 6 games, 7 games, you know, it's against a really good team, and
Well, yeah,
a few
it
plays
depends who.
still, that like okay, like that I'm cool with that. Like they've made progress, and they still with the Bogdanovich. I think it leaves them cap space for the summer, right? Because
Yeah,
there's
'cause
an option with him or something.
He only has a $19 million option, which is that's kind of nice and will be helpful for us to try to at least still have somebody. And the other thing that nobody really talked about is he's on an expiring deal next year because it's a team op. I think it's a team option. Don't quote me on that.
I'm pretty positive it is.
But it's only for 1 year. So even if like the ceiling or the floor falls out from us, we can still deal him and try to get off because he's an expiring deal.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But my biggest thing is I have almost PTSD as the Knicks fan, and don't want to see us like just jump at like and make some of these moves that like are just going to be emotion based moves and do something that's stupid when we are building something and people are giving us credit for doing it.
Well, I got a question for you guys now. Let's just say same thing happens, right? Like, let's say you guys are 3 seed, the Pacers are the 6 seed, right? Mm-hmm. And you lose in 6 to them, and you know it's like, and you guys have had this good regular season record, but then it all comes crashing down to the Pacers. You know what I mean? Like they don't have any stars.
That
Halliburton's good, but
Halliburton's a star.
Let's just say that happens. Like, what are you thinking as a Knicks fan? Like, are you? That's disappointing. Obviously
Disappointing, but at the same time, like I see it. Like I see
that's a man scarred right there, folks.
that it could happen. Like I see Halliburton as that type of dude, and I see it makes sense to why that could happen to us. Am I rooting very passionately against it? Of course, but I don't think that it's I'm not gonna get scared over it. The only thing that I would like outrightly hate is if we're a 2 or 3 seed and we can just like play like a team like I'm trying to think of somebody who's at the who would be at the bottom of the playoff rank, like the Hawks or something. Like and we lose to them, like that's a different story. But if we lose to like
a solid team,
like the Pacers, I mean,
The Pacers, no. If they lose to the Pacers, it's not good.
I mean, they got Siakam now. Like he's all right. He's solid.
He's good, but bro.
the two teams I don't want to touch or I'm afraid of the most in the East are the Pacers and then the Magic. And I know,
bro. If you
over
lose
the
to
Bucks and the Celtics,
bro. If you lose to the Magic, I'm just singing the Magic's up for fucking months, bro.
Bro, Paolo's nice,
Bro,
they're good, but we should beat them.
Paolo's
Of course
borderline.
we should.
He's a borderline all-star. Other than that, who else they got?
bro. He's nice.
Franz, bro.
Franz is nice,
Bro, if you're getting cooked by a dude named Franz, come on, man.
Bro, y'all depending on a guy named Royce. Y'all depending on a guy named Royce. Like, bro, and Devin.
Yeah, but that was a normal name, bro.
You know anyone named Devin? I think I know one guy named Devin. I haven't
But,
seen him in years.
Oh man,
Bro, but what was I gonna say? I just want to make sure this. Do you guys think that I was seeing that? I mean, obviously we saw the Becky Hammond. Do you guys think at this point Jalen Brunson is a 1A guy? Because at this point,
no.
I didn't think he was. But every time after watching him every single night and the things that he's doing, I've never seen him go up against a star and not be able to go toe to toe with him. So I think he really has to be in that. He's clearly a top 15 player, and he's kind of in that top 10 range for me right now, which I never thought I would ever say.
Top 10's rough for me to say.
Right. He's just right there, bro. He's just.
He's not. Listen.
He gets a bucket anytime he wants to get a bucket.
I personally believe that a team that has Jalen Brunson as their best player will not win a championship. And like this is coming from an unbiased party. Okay. I think he's probably he's the best second option, like on a championship team if they were to win one. But like I don't know, like because you see teams like the Suns, like you know what I mean, like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Pick one as your second option. Are they? They're struggling to win a championship right now. Like I think you got to have like Jalen Brunson can. He's a great player. He's a top 15, top 20 player, top 15 player. I'll give him that. But like, I really feel like when it still comes down to like 2 minutes and like you need a bucket, like. Can he get to the line? He's too. I think he might be a little too small. Can he make a shot?
I just feel like he's gonna get a bucket. Like at this point, like he gets a bucket every time.
We gotta see. We gotta see in against a good team in the playoffs. This year's a big year for him. But
I agree.
I don't think he's there yet.
But he showed up everything he's been given. He showed up for.
Yeah, and I
that's why it's just so hard to say that he's not, because like there's nothing he hasn't had a challenge put in front of him that he hasn't just showed up for.
But at this level, and if we want to anoint him as the like 1A and top 10, he has to do it consistently. And
yeah, he just has to do it.
He's doing it every night. Let's see it for 2 seasons in a row. Let's see it for 3 seasons in a row. And listen, I'm a giant Jalen Brunson fan, and obviously he's the best player on my favorite team. But calling him a top 10 player is tough right now. I think top 15 is generous as well too. I think you can really peel it back and find 20, probably 20 players that are better than him.
Yeah.
20? I don't think 20.
I mean, we could do a would you rather with the Jalen Brunson right now.
7 players that I don't think you can debate: Giannis, Jokic, Embiid,
KD. Yes.
All right, let's not forget what you said last time you were on the podcast about KD. Let's not forget about that.
That was a disgusting
Kevin
take.
Durant, Devin Booker,
yeah,
Luka, Shea.
Yeah,
it's like 8. I guess healthy Kawhi.
I'm taking Jason Tatum, Tyrese.
I'm not taking Tyrese Halliburton over Jalen Brunson.
Sorry.
That could be a discussion.
What has Tyrese Halliburton done that Jalen Brunson hasn't right now?
Yeah, no, nothing. You're right.
So that's the thing. Like, there's nothing. There's no
like,
merit to say Jalen Brunson's gone further in the playoffs. He's putting up. I don't know. It's hard to say because Brunson scores more. Halliburton has more assists. Like they're kind of just to me they're just on the same tier of player. Like they're just both 2 top of the line point guards.
Yeah, but they're different type of point guards.
Exactly.
One's that get me a bucket point guard, which is Jalen Brunson, and Tyrese Halliburton's the connector. He's kind of the Swiss Army knife that can fall into any role. And I do think that also, what we don't talk about with Jalen Brunson enough, and it doesn't get exposed in regular season basketball, it'll be exposed in the postseason, is he's small.
Yeah.
That's true, but what did he do last year in the second round? He averaged 31.
Yeah, but
what do you mean? He averaged 31 in the second round. You can't say he's too small. He averaged 31 in the second round.
He was being guarded by Gabe Vincent, though. You know what I mean? Like that.
We were talking about how great the Heat were defensively the series before.
Yeah, no.
Come on.
I'm with you on that, but I think that it's not that who he's guarded by. I think who he's guarding. I think that
the 2A aspect of it, but then if we're gonna get to 2A aspect, you gotta look at Luka because that dude plays no defense whatsoever.
Yeah, but Luka's a bucket.
I know, but he's the worst defensive player in basketball right now.
That's
Luka.
not.
He doesn't even put in the minute. I'm a Luka Doncic fan. He does not play a lick of defense.
Who would you rather have on your team? And this is kind of a good question: Kyrie or Jalen Brunson?
Jalen Brunson.
Not even close.
Bro,
I was going to actually put
Kyrie is still so good, though.
Yes, but he never plays.
But I'm saying when he does play, bro.
Him and Luka, I heard it today on some sort of media outlet. Kyrie and Luka have not played 3 consecutive games together this season since November 18th.
That's kind of crazy.
They haven't played 3 consecutive games together. And
I mean, that's also like just somebody making a number.
But 3 straight games? You haven't played 3 straight games together?
Yeah, I mean,
that's not a large amount of games to play together.
Yeah,
But
I get it.
Kyrie, I actually saw someone had, I don't know who it was, I really don't, but they were talking about would the Mavs trade Kyrie to the Lakers for like Rui, D'Lo, and like Taurean Prince or something, and they were like, well, the idea is like Kyrie's only going to go to the Lakers if he's not on the Mavs, and they were like, Luka just needs someone who's consistently playing, and they need depth.
Dude, I think I don't know how many games Kyrie's missed, but I don't think he's
missed a lot this year.
You've got a fairly normal. I think they're 28 and 23, the Mavericks.
Like
so
yeah,
they
but
played
with Luka and since Kyrie's got there, they're like together. They're like 31 and 35 or something.
no, but 28 and 23 they are this season. How many games has he played? That's 51 games. Just see how many games he's actually played.
Yeah, that's a lot of NBA games. So.
51 already?
I ain't been watching. I watched like 7 or 8.
Royce.
Yeah, Royce. Julian might not be able to pick Royce out of like a roster.
Yeah, if you put Royce,
He's played 29 games this year.
okay.
So he's missed a lot.
Yeah, he's missed
missed
a solid
22
amount.
games? He's been great when he plays, but that's the real argument with Kyrie. It's like no one ever is going to question his talent because as far as talent goes, he's as good as you're going to get. But the guy just doesn't stay on the court.
Yeah, and I think that it's that skill-wise, that you can argue Kyrie with honestly some of the greatest to ever play guard in the history of basketball. Like we can have that debate until we're blue in the face, but I think that like it's Jalen Brunson over Kyrie without a doubt.
100%, yeah.
But I still think so. Like we're not done going through it, but I think that Jalen's comfortably right outside the top 10, and if you're gonna go upside based on a lot of people, I might say he's probably outside the top 15.
I don't
Because when you start putting guys like Chet, Wemby, you start putting guys that are like possible franchise cornerstones like Anthony Edwards, like stuff like that out there. Like it's tough for me to say, yeah, I'll take Jalen Brunson at 6'1" over him.
He's 6'3".
Jalen Brunson's not 6'3", bud.
But even
He's listed as 6'3".
6'3" is kind of small.
Zach
in the NBA,
Zach saw him in person last year. He said he saw him in person. He was like, he is a lot like larger than he thought he would. He's like he's a big guy.
He's a big stocky dude.
He might have the biggest head I've ever seen. This is coming from 2 dudes with big heads. Like, bro, that dude's head is humongous.
Balls.
It's crazy, bro. If you look at Jalen Brunson, like look at a picture of his head, it's just huge,
no.
I actually got a good one though.
Okay.
Dame.
Right now, I'm taking Jalen Brunson
Dude,
over Damian Lillard.
I don't. But like how?
Like that's no disrespect to Dame and his career and everything he's accomplished. He's just getting old, and you could see it. Like he's not been as efficient as he has.
No, but
as he has been in the past.
He's been
I
great.
think part of that
He's
might
playing
be,
aside Giannis too. Like this, like
Yeah, but
right now I'm taking Jalen Brunson. Like I just like
No, but part of that. Listen, I think you need to think about that because I think you chose that really quickly because you're a Knicks fan and you watch
bro.
him.
I mean, you saw the outburst on the internet when Jalen Brunson wasn't named a starter to Damian Lillard.
But that's for
Dame has not been efficient this year.
I mean,
I mean he hasn't been, but also like
He hasn't been efficient. He hasn't been
into
consistent. He's had these amazing games, but right now I'm taking Jalen Brunson. I'm
think
not
the
trying
Bucks-
to discredit Dame Lillard at all.
the Bucks
It's
have been
just
the most
right
disappointing
now.
team in the league, and I think because there's one thing that I can never see that they do, and this is kind of basketball nerdy kind of basis, but they don't run any Dame and Giannis pick and roll. Like it is consistently just his turn, his turn, my turn, his turn, my turn, and I think that was a disconnect with Adrian Griffin, and now Doc Rivers is there, but it's tough for me to say that watching Dame, who if we look back on this run that Jalen Brunson had and said it was the equivalent to Dame Lillard in Portland, I would be happy with it.
Oh, 100%.
It needs a couple. Realistically,
I mean, Dame's a no-brainer Hall of Famer. Like, no discredit to him. He's going to be. I mean, the NBA, the
lets
basketball
anybody
Hall
in,
of Fame is the easiest Hall of Fame to get into.
Yeah.
But I still think that if it's tough for me to give, like, say Jalen Brunson with no doubt without giving Dame his flowers at the end of the day.
If we're talking about this season, it's Jalen Brunson. But I'm like, I said when I said it, I'm not trying to disrespect Dame. Like, he's a legend. He's great. He's still great. But right now, like, at some point, it's like you just got to respect what Jalen Brunson's
100%.
doing, and he's been consistently doing for the past calendar year, really.
And I think top 15. I think
top 15 is fair for him.
Top 15.
He's going to be all NBA because Halliburton's not going to make the. He's going to end up missing. Like he can't. He's not going to make it.
Well, dude, they're trying. Like they play him like 20 minutes. They play him 20 minutes a game.
That's just going to kill his stats, though. That's the thing. Like when you're playing a guy 20 minutes a game, like he's against the Knicks. I think he had 15 and 9. It's like, all right, his points. That's 15.
Yeah.
If he does that, they play him 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, and he's getting 20 minutes. Like, I don't know. And the Pacers are not going to have like a better record than some of these teams.
Oh yeah.
Are they easing him back from an injury or something? Like
so he can only miss like 3 more games, or he won't hit the 65.
Got you.
So they've been playing him like 20 minutes a game. It's just so dumb, honestly. It's like they should really just rest him.
But the reason why is because they want to be able to offer him that supermax.
Yeah.
Because I mean, no offense, it's Indiana. Like who's gonna?
Right.
Why is he gonna? If they can't offer him the biggest bag of all the bags you can offer, why would he stay there? So I mean, he seems loyal and everything, but still, like I think that's a big contribution part of it. And listen, a lot of this rest stuff, and I think we gave a lot of crap to like players like Embiid, and I mean Kawhi's a different animal because I think he's on his own team, but it's like front office and coaching staff driven, and I think that's what Halliburton was happening with Halliburton. I think it's just so that they can kind of keep him qualified to make those all NBA teams.
I got another thing. I was watching Pick a Side or clip. I think you commented. You were laughing. You commented like a laughing emoji.
It was like the Joel freak out thing, or
It was. They were talking basically. They were like, "Do you think that if you're talking about true 1A, like not like 1A on like a good team, like top, there's always like this. They always say like 7 guys that you could really win a championship with, like clearly as the best player, like that really stand out." They were arguing if they thought that Luka was like one of those S tier players, like those top players. And
I don't think so.
You're bugging.
I actually agree. And it's not because of like if we're talking like these top tier players like Jokic, Curry.
Curry's not. Luka is higher than Curry right now.
But that's also 35-year-old Steph Curry.
But I'm saying like Luka's what, 23? 24.
I think he's like 25.
But then if we're going with KD, if we're going with Embiid, these guys, I mean, it's who's really in that elite tier, because right now Luka has not really been a part of a team that wins a lot.
Yeah, no, and
that's got to be the thing. And I said this before, and I'm like, he does not try on defense consistently, and you could find the clips anywhere online. And don't get me wrong, like I understand, because he has to put so much of his energy into his offensive game. I mean, we see him; he's averaging like he'll score 40 points every night if you really need him to. Yep. And he even had the 73-point game recently. But at the same time, like him and Kyrie, they really haven't won much together. They were bad last year when they got together.
Yeah,
the Mavs gave up on the season, but right now, like. And you could say anything you want about like Embiid in the playoffs, and he's always hurt, but hit the regular season, he's at least getting it done. Like Luka has not been able to get it done, even in the regular season right now.
Yeah, and I think that like our guy that we're just spending the last 20 minutes talking about, Jalen Brunson, is a good indicator of that, because imagine just not wanting Jalen Brunson back, or not having the opportunity to get Jalen Brunson back on the team. And just being like, oh no, like let's just sign over in New York for $100 million that everybody joked about at the time, but at the same time, like it's not a lot of money going into this new cap. Like it's a discount. It's a discount for what Jalen Brunson's production has been with us. So I definitely think that there's a asterisk next to Luka in terms of the show it to me thing. And I think that's with a lot of the guys in the NBA. I think there's a lot of dudes who we were anointed way too early, and I think it's similar with Booker. I think it's similar with a dude like Tatum. I think that, or did we say when they were 22, 23 years old that they're him, that they're the next guy step up? And
I mean, both of the people you named are kind of him. Like
no, but they have to prove it though. They've both been to a finals.
Well, the thing is,
they've both been to a finals. Luka hasn't been to a conference finals, has he?
No, he hasn't been through conference finals.
Right, but Tatum had Jaylen Brown, and
all right,
Jaylen Brown's pretty good. And Booker took who had Mikal Bridges. He had Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton wasn't bad that series. Like he had a little bit of help. Like Luka really doesn't have much. You know what I mean? Like and listen, as a Devin Booker lover,
but he did have help. He had Jalen Brunson, who we're just talking about, the top 15 player in the league.
Jalen Brunson was like younger, and he wasn't as good as he is now.
Dude,
is what I'm saying.
He was good in that playoff run.
Yeah, but he
had one guy who was like decent.
I don't think Luka would. Like Jalen Brunson would still be the Jalen Brunson that was in Dallas, if because of Luka. Like it's just I think Luka's just not like that much of a black hole on offense. It's almost to like a Harden level. Like, or when are we going to start talking about Luka as like a Harden level type ISO player?
That's pretty good comparison. Not gonna lie, but. I don't know. I mean, to me, I think it's any of those like dominant guys like Jokic, Giannis, and then I think Luka just squeaks in. I mean, I just look at his offensive talent being like one of the best we've seen like in the current game in the last 3-4 years. You know, like he's just kind of put the team on his back, I gotta respect it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he needs. You know, he hasn't really had a good big man. You know, if you put
Kristaps, but.
Kristaps,
he did
bro.
it, bro. Him, Jalen, and Kristaps were on the same team.
Kristaps, bro. Like, I mean,
bro,
the thing is, like,
Kristaps is helping the Celtics.
But it might just be the way. Maybe not Luka, but it might be the way their offense is called. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
maybe
that's
they ran
him, dude. Like that, like it's not. It's similar to Harden. It's not like you could blame it on coaching. No, it is Luka being Luka. Like that's the offense. It's let me get a bucket. Let Luka get a bucket. Like, stand out in the corner and wait for me to pass you the ball if the defense collapses on me. It's almost like the Russ games. It's almost like that. It just looks different, and it's very similar to Harden. And I think that Luka and, I mean, Booker, to an extent, need to watch out for SGA this upcoming year. Because
sleeping.
Because if the Thunder can make any noise in the playoffs at all, I think that a guy like SGA, or even like Anthony Edwards as well too, those guys could go into that conversation above guys like Luka, above a guy like Booker.
Listen.
I don't know. Wait, I gotta say one thing before Julian goes. So last year, him and Zach were on the podcast, and I said to them that Shea was a top 15 player, and they laughed me out of the room.
Yeah.
And what happens? He was first team All NBA. Shea, I was thinking this, bro. Like you said, if Shea has one of these runs and he goes to the Western Conference Finals, I'm putting him above Tatum. I'm putting him above Luka. I'm putting him.
I think Tatum. You got to watch out for Tatum first, and I think
I'm saying like if the Celtics don't perform to what we think they're going to do this year,
they have to make the finals.
And the Thunder have a nice playoff run. I'm taking Shea over a lot of guys.
But listen, if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander makes the Western Conference Finals, you cannot put him over Booker. Booker's made the finals.
Yeah, but
he's made the finals.
We'll have to see what happens.
What does Devin Booker do? But you can't.
First of all, I didn't even say Booker. I was going to say Booker.
I'm just clarifying.
I'm saying Booker.
But why though? Because you're contradicting your earlier statement. No. Because you're judging people off resumes. And if he makes one Western Conference Finals 1 year, they didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yes, they did.
Did they?
They were playing team.
Oh, my bad.
They didn't have a center on the roster.
He was hurt. Now he's rookie of the year.
Listen. Until Shea Gilgeous-Alexander makes the finals, until he makes the finals, I'm not taking him serious.
So if the Suns are a first round exit and Shea goes off averaging 35,
then I will 100% agree with you that Shea's better than Booker. If the Suns are a first round exit and Shea makes the Western Conference Finals, yes, I will shake your hand and say yes. Booker is not him.
I don't think you can immediately say. I think you can say Tatum. I mean, no, not Tatum. I think you can actually say Luka.
You might be able to say that.
But Booker.
I'm taking Booker over. No.
Like, listen, all the flowers everybody gives Booker. If they don't make the finals this year, that's crazy with Kevin Durant. But
it depends, because last year Booker literally had the best playoffs since Michael Jordan. And they were second round exit. So like, was that Booker's fault? No, he's fucking doing his job. But then you have guys like fucking Landry Shamet going 2 for 9 from 3, which is gonna cost them obviously. And like that's why they wouldn't beat the Nuggets. Like obviously, if Booker is averaging 35 and like he's losing games, it's not his fault. And he played great defense. He was a top 3 defender in the series. So no. So listen.
But how does it? Wait. So tell me how how does that work with Luka? How does what we're saying about Luka mean? Hey, is it too much of a Luka-centric offense? Is it too Luka-dominated? Does he have too much control of the offense? And how is he averaging? And Luka's averaging like 35 points a game, and the team has 28 wins.
No, listen. You kind of convinced me that Luka may not be him just off the defense, just off the defense.
Bro, have you seen those clips on TikTok of Luka not playing defense?
Yes. I not actually.
They're insane. He is not. It's like first plays of the game. This dude is like, he's not even paying attention. He's daydreaming. He's got fucking shooting the basketball on his mind. Dude will do anything.
He's a liability on defense.
It's bad.
But overall, I think you got to start having the conversation about, is Booker really him if he can't take this Suns team to the playoffs, to the finals?
I mean, but like, what's this Suns team though? It's like you got three guys, but like, what if Bradley Beal's 3 for 12 in 2 playoff
Who's
games?
your backup center? The white guy, Eubanks.
Eubanks.
He's not bad.
I mean, we got Bol
he's not
Bol
good.
too.
He's not, bro.
He's solid.
I was thinking about this when I was watching the Suns game the other day. Why the fuck do old retired players like Shaq and Gilbert Arenas, they love having these like crazy hot takes? Remember when Shaq like doubled down on saying that like Bol is the same player as Wemby, but he's just lazy?
Yeah, I mean, it's
just like wild. I don't understand that take just makes no sense.
I mean,
first of all, he's not. He's like, that's just a huge insult to Bobo. Like, you don't even try. You could be Wemby. Like,
no, he cannot be.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, he has a skill set. He has a skill set that's impressive.
He can't shoot as good as Wemby. He can't block shots.
Can't do anything as good as Wemby.
He's probably comfortable, bro. He's a millionaire now, or whatever he's making.
I just don't understand. Like, comparing a guy that can't really stay on an NBA roster to what people are calling like the best prospect of all time is just the weirdest take.
Yeah, that was.
It's just the weirdest.
There is that like there's that like the NBA fraternity of like players who like, because that's a son of a former player, which Bol
bro, the Bronny and Austin Rivers Steven Jackson thing was just another weird one.
What do you mean?
You didn't see what happened? So Steven Jackson, I guess like Austin Rivers was on ESPN, and he was talking about how he doesn't think that it's a good idea for Bronny and LeBron to play together. Because it like
that was a really good take actually.
He was talking about how like when he was coached by his dad, like people discredited everything he did because he was coached by his dad, something like that. And then Steven Jackson was like, he basically was like, shut up, like you're a bum, like you're never gonna be as like Bronny. And people were just like, what are you talking about? He was the #1 recruit in high school basketball.
Who?
Austin Rivers. He's the best mixtape of all time with John Wall. Like, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that John Wall mixtape was different. That'd kill Carl too.
That's the crazy thing is like these older guys, like these retired guys, like they just come up with these crazy things to say, and is it just to stay relevant?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Like, look what we're on. We're on a podcast right now, and it's these NBA guys want to be on a pod. They want to have their own voice, and we talked about it the other day, like, or in the group chat. I'm not a big fan of the Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart podcast. Not because I don't like them and I don't think that they're going to have good insight. It's because like they're my favorite players. Like as a fan of the laundry at the end of the day, it's going to annoy me to watch this.
Yeah, did you listen to the first episode?
No, I'm not listening to the first episode on trade deadline day.
I listened to it. Bro, it's to be honest, it's not much basketball talk. They're just kind of talking about like funny experiences like they've had together.
Which I'm 100% cool with, but like let's not do that on a 8-game skid or like
that's true.
Like I don't want that roommates podcast notification to come on my phone on like after we lose to the Pacers.
That's the funniest thing when Draymond had it, when Draymond's podcast last year, like after every single like playoff loss, just like didn't have it tonight.
He literally just like would go home and then hop on. It was like kind of like scary. But.
I feel like these guys have a lot more free time than we realize.
No, they do.
So
and they're brands too. They can do it, and they can make a decent like a very solid living off of it. But yeah, I think the player podcast thing. Listen, I'm obviously listening to every episode and live and die by every word because I'm a Knicks fan. But at the end of the day, it's just it's not something I'm a huge fan of because I think that a lot of the player podcast, and I don't think it's going to be as much with this one, is basically just hot take central and just trying to say whatever
to get on NBA Centel.
Yeah,
Centel.
NBA Centel.
Bro, the Knicks are only down by 7 right now with this playing Luka and Kyrie.
Dude, I have not been watching.
I mean, Luka's just bro. Come on, man. That's not a tier 1A pass right there.
All right, sorry, he backed down Miles McBride, who's actually 6'1". I said he's backing down Miles McBride.
The Knicks have Charlie Brown on the court.
I do. Oh.
Dude, you know what's crazy is that he's gonna have to give up that number. That's Boyan's number. On Saturday, he's gonna have a new number.
You think he's gonna give it up? You think he's actually gonna?
I think they already said that he's gonna give it up.
Really?
He should give him $10,000, something like that.
But listen, Luka. To circle back on it, Luka. I need to see a little bit more from him. And listen, I'm hoping that's a little more we can see.
That dude just got caught on national TV picking his nose.
No. The fuck out of here. Nah, bro. His boys ain't never gonna let him get out the group chat, bro. That's crazy.
I swear he was just picking his nose.
Right before this one.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's hilarious.
Bro. He was digging in there too. You looked at it, yo. That's bad. I had another question that I want to bring. This isn't about a player. This is just about the NBA. Do you think the NBA will ever lower the amount of games in the regular season?
I think they will.
No, they won't.
I think they won't do it by a lot, but I think they might do like 75 or like 70. I think like the more injuries that happen, like I'm not saying it's gonna happen anytime soon, but like 10 years from now, I think it could definitely be like that.
I guess the reasons to where I feel like it could be a good idea is because like it's almost like the NFL. Like the NFL, like there's so few games that every game you want to watch. No, the MLB, no one fucking wants to watch because there's 162 games. Right. And then you got the NBA, like 82 is just 81. Like 80 what?
81.
It's not 82 anymore?
It's 81.
No, it's 82.
It's 82. What are you talking?
Bro, it's always 82.
Oh shit, you're right. It's 82, my bad.
Mr. Basketball doesn't have any games.
72 and 9.
No.
73 and 9. Sorry.
So it was 72 and 10.
I always go based off
72 and 10 don't mean a thing without a ring. Remember that?
That's on me.
Bulls. But this is just like this first season with the minimums that I don't think they'll get rid of it, but it's just weird to see players do. Like Halliburton, he's got 14 minutes in the first half right now. He's got 0 points, 0 rebounds, and 8 assists. Yeah, I just checked. Steph Curry's got 29 at half.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But it's just weird. Like, are they gonna play him 6 more minutes? Let him get to this minutes limit. He's gonna end up with 4 points. Like,
wait, you have to play 20 minutes a game in order for that.
Yeah,
to be
it's 20 minutes.
Count as a game.
That's so dumb, bro.
Yeah, it used to be the rule where you just start the game and then you can just foul somebody and get out. That's
because that's how like Mikal Bridges kept his streak. But you can't do that anymore.
No, yeah, they stopped that.
Bro, what?
I mean, that was even crazier of a rule than 20 minutes a game.
Wait, Mikal Bridges did that to keep his streak alive?
He did that like when he was on the Suns. Like literally played like 1 minute just to like. I think we were already like locked into our seat. He played 1 minute and then like we rested him.
Shit.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
kind of lame.
I think he still has the streak going, right? Or am I bugging?
I think so.
Yeah. That's insane.
I don't think the NBA is ever going to lower their games. And the reason why is because if the NFL hasn't, when it's actually like dangerous to like human life for the NFL to keep playing football games, and they just say, you know what, screw it, we're going to do it in Brazil this year. We're going to do it another game. Wait for another 5 more years. We're going to add another game onto the schedule. The NBA is not going to want to do it. The owners are not going to want to give up games, specifically if we're going to expand. Maybe if the expansion teams come in, there's a way to like. Say maybe we'll go down to 75 games, 70 games, but I don't know. I think it's just kind of it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. The 2 last things I kind of wanted to talk about were like the Lakers did nothing. Mm-hmm. What do we think's gonna happen with like this whole LeBron Lakers? Do we think next year he's a Laker? Do you think Bronny gets drafted? He goes there. Well, why did the Lakers make no trades? Is it just because you guys think maybe like there just wasn't anything That was a needle moving trade out there.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the best trade they could have made was the DeJounte Murray one. And realistically, I'm not saying that D'Lo's DeJounte Murray, but D'Lo has been playing very well as of late, and I don't think that it's almost a wash for what you get. I don't think DeJounte's the stopper, the defensive stopper that everybody thought he was when he came out of San Antonio.
Yeah.
So I think that he's definitely a step back from there. So I think that they just said, hey, we might as well stay put, keep our guys, wait for Gabe Vincent and hopefully Vanderbilt, which doesn't sound like it's going to be likely, come back, and then go from there. I mean, they still have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Like Anthony Davis, like people don't give him enough credit for how actually good he is. Yes, like some of this what that people talk about him as if he's like the top 75 player. You can get into that debate, but what he does on the defensive end of the floor and like even offensively is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of disappointed with the Lakers. I thought they would do something. I mean, they did win a ring, but like you can never stay in one place. And I think I would have wanted them to go get Buddy Hield. I didn't know he was actually like on the block, but he's a shooter. I don't think the Lakers are a great shooting team. Like they got Reeves. I mean, D'Lo's okay, but like, do they really have like a knockdown shooter? Like, not really. I think they could have used him for his offense, but I don't know. Like Bron, I think he'll stay. I think he's comfortable in LA. I think he'll probably stay there, maybe like a 1 year, 2 year deal or something, and then see if Bronny comes. Who knows? I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think LeBron will just stay in LA and they'll try to keep running it back until he retires.
Yeah, it was funny how like last week they were pushing that narrative. Like, LeBron was like, yeah, like I always thought about going to play for the Knicks. Like all these. Yeah, they're like, should the Knicks trade for LeBron? And I was like, in my head, I was like, is it crazy that I'm like, I don't think that would be a good idea. Like, it just didn't make any sense.
You gotta. The thing about LeBron is you have to give up your franchise to him almost. You have to almost like concede that you're just gonna lose control of like anything you have as a general manager or team or president of basketball ops. So you kind of just have to concede that to him, which the Lakers did. It's almost like you made a deal with the devil, and not calling LeBron the devil by any stretch, but you made a deal with LeBron. You understand what the baggage comes with it, and at the same time, you made a deal with the guy who's like old. Like he's an older NBA player. Like you're going to keep throwing money at him and keep giving him these extensions. It's just going to keep going in the same way that it's going. However, I think he gets too much hate from like the Laker fans out there because I think that there's people blame him for what the Lakers have done, but the Lakers have always been this franchise to try to take care of their old players and their stars for every single throughout history.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I feel like they're probably just playing team, but I don't know. And then the only other move that I think really kind of stood out was interesting was Pat Bev. Pat Bev going to the Bucks. I don't know why it stuck out to me, but they traded they got him for what? I think they traded Campaign and they traded
some second round pick or something.
Second round pick. And now like they have Pat Bev. I mean, maybe he's the defensive stopper that they're looking for.
No, he's not.
No, I think it's just more of like an attitude thing. I think they just need a guy who's
maybe
gonna say fuck you and just go out there and just compete because they're kind of soft, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's partially to get with Buddy Hield going to Philly. A lot of the Pat Bev minutes probably go out the window a little bit. So I think that it was more of a Philly thing, being like, hey, we don't need Pat Bev.
Yeah.
And they could use him. I know Doc loved Pat Bev last year when he was or the past couple years when he was with Philly. So I think that was a kind of a no-brainer on that end. But it was just funny to see him say that Daryl Morey told him he wasn't going to get traded, and then to say,
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Wait, he got told he wasn't going to get traded.
Daryl Morey told him he wasn't going to get traded.
He said, "No, you're not getting traded." And then he got fucking traded.
Bruh.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Daryl Morey's a clown.
That's
man.
the funny thing about like the NBA, bro. Is it's just like nothing anyone says fucking holds any merit at all.
It's just constant comedy because like him, like I woke up this morning and saw a story on PJ Tucker and how if he got traded, they'd have to send his 250 pair of game sneakers over to the other team. It's just constant just comedy with these like players who are way like past any kind of real relevance besides just being.
I think Hartenstein just got hurt. I think he tweaked his Achilles.
Achilles? No, he's walking, dude. There's Toppin. Let's go.
He tweaked something, hamstring.
He'll be all right.
The last team I actually wanted to talk about, it was because I just don't understand anything that they do, is the Nets, bro. I just don't understand why the Nets don't just go to Houston, because this was reported. Go to Houston, hey, we'll give you Mikal Bridges, give us back our picks, give us an additional first, maybe a second, a player, something like that.
Take Jalen Green.
And just get draft picks. I don't understand that in this thing that all these reports come out every day. Like a report comes out about a Nets player, and it's like they were offered 2 first-round picks, they were offered 5 first-round picks, they were offered 3 first-round picks, and they declined everything. It's like, why are you declining 3? They were apparently declining like 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith,
bro. But they traded the big one.
Oh,
Royce O'Neal.
Hey.
Bro,
But
like,
no, you're right. I think
I don't understand. They're just like they're just stuck in this middle. They don't have their pick. They're not that good. They don't really have good young players.
Yeah,
Mikal he's great. He's a top 30.
He's like 27 though.
Exactly. He's not getting any younger. Like he doesn't fit a timeline. They have Cam Johnson's getting paid way too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Like their whole team is just like their roster's filled with these guys that you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind them as like my
and also
4th option.
Guys who you can only play the same guy 2 or 3 times.
Exactly.
Like there's no way that you can run a lineup out there with Bridges, Cam Johnson, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith,
Nick Claxton,
Ben Simmons,
And
Like-
then what's his fucking name? The bucket.
Cam Thomas?
Yeah, Cam Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, there's they need to. They should have made a move besides obviously the Royce O'Neal move. But I don't know. I looking back on Nets history and like we could do a victory lap on it as Knicks fans. But like, what has gone right for them besides that one Kenny Atkinson D'Lo season when they were actually like, hey, there's some actual traction with the Nets. Like, look how promising and young they are. Look how fun they are. And then next thing you know, KD, Kyrie, and came in and blew everything up.
It's funny because they were kind of in the position where the Knicks ended up being in a few years later. And instead of what the Knicks kind of did, which was get guys who weren't really these box office guys, they said, KD, Kyrie, whatever you want to do, we'll do. And it just all went to shit. It's so bad. Yeah. It's like if this was the Knicks that this happened to, my God,
it would be bad,
nonstop.
It would be really bad.
I mean, none of those guys would be on the team though, because if Dolan wouldn't let, like I know we say he's out of basketball ops, but he would not let us trot out the rosters that the Nets are trotting out there and not like try to trade or be better than what they are right now. The team that I'm like curious on what the hell is going on with them is the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, I think they're just like bottom feeders, dude. Like, bro, I saw them on Twitter and like they were down. I think you sent it in the chat. They were down like 30.
It was the Knicks game.
Yeah, and they were fucking dying on the sideline. Like,
I'm not even that, bro. That was the Knicks game when it was like they were just like chanting, like the Knicks fans were just chanting MVP to Jalen Brunson
in Charlotte.
In Charlotte,
so sad, dude. Like, if I was a Hornets fan, like I would not watch a single game until, you know, at least until like you guys are at least younger and you get rid of all like the.
But they are. That's the thing. They're young.
Not, like, younger, but like in a good way. Like you have LaMelo, who I think is a good piece, but like,
is he though? Like at this point,
I think he's good, man. Like he could play with anybody, but it's like other than that,
he never plays.
He
never plays.
Yeah,
but I would get rid of everybody else. Like there's like who else is on that team?
I think Brandon Miller.
Richards.
The crazy. It's Brandon. You saw the clip of Brandon Miller where he was like, "Get the fuck back!" Like he was. You got a rookie screaming at your team,
That's
telling
so
you to
sad.
get back on defense. You got LaMelo Ball, your leader, laughing on the bench, down 30. Knicks fans chanting in Charlotte, Jalen Brunson MVP. And this is seconds after their coach gets himself thrown out, trying to give themselves some energy.
Yeah, exactly.
But now you just see Steve Clifford in these interviews, and he just feels like he's just like, fire me, let me go. He's just like, I don't want to be here. This team is just he's basically just calling the team pathetic, the organization pathetic.
It's them and the Pistons. I will consistently go back and forth with like who's the worst, like who's actually the worst team in the league, and I really think it has to be. Like, it's not talked about enough how dysfunctional either of those franchises are.
I think the Pistons are. I think the Hornets are the worst. I think they're just like, they're not only bad, but they're just like really embarrassing. Like the Pistons are at least in games. Like they lose them, but they had some. Yeah. They've had a lot of games that they've been.
They almost beat the Celtics on that when they had that home streak.
Yeah, and then last night who'd they beat last night? The Kings.
No, but the Pistons thing was bad. It was like it just looks bad too.
It's bad, but I'd rather have Cade than anyone.
I don't know if you know. Do you follow that film session guy on TikTok? His name is just Film Session. Just look him up. He actually breaks down basketball like a coach would, but he does it in a funny way where he's just like screaming about whatever Monty Morris is, whatever Monty Williams is doing. It's just hilarious.
Oh my god! Last thing, just quick. It's only a few minutes left on the time running. What are your guys' thoughts on the Kings having no All-Stars and the Lakers, who are a play-in team, or are they even a play-in team right now, having two? Yeah. Because I just don't understand how Sabonis nor Fox was an All-Star. Like something just seems fundamentally wrong with that, because they're the fifth seed at least at the time they're the fifth seed. Fox is having an amazing season, and Sabonis is Sabonis is averaging like 20 points, 8 assists, and like 13 rebounds on the 5 seed. And then you've got LeBron and AD, who, granted, they won the in-season tournament. I just don't see how that's fair that Fox isn't all. Even Curry, like Curry's had a okay year, but they're the 12 seed. Like I don't understand how that gets rewarded over someone like Fox, who's averaging like 28 on a good team.
Well, it's easy. I mean, I can tell you the reason. It's one, Fox. I don't like. He's having a good year. I didn't see a spot for him. There's just too much. There's too much talent in the West for him. Like he's borderline. Like I think he's the second alternate.
It's like a Mike Conley situation.
People were saying Derek White to the All-Star game.
That was crazy.
Bro.
I'm sorry.
People were saying Derek White
Celtics fans, bro.
People when the Knicks were like the 6th seed in the East, or like the 7th seed, people were saying like Derek White over Jalen Brunson.
Is disgusting.
I saw you commented on that clip too. The Jack Coke kid.
Oh,
that kid is just like, he's one of those kids who just comes up with the worst takes on TikTok. You've probably seen him.
Oh yeah,
he thinks Jason Tatum's like the best player in basketball, and he thinks like Jokic is like number 8. Like he does like these rankings that are always terrible. But he made this case he's on one of these podcasts, and he was saying that he'd rather have Derek White than Jalen Brunson. It was honestly one of the worst takes I've ever. It was the most I'm trying to be different take I've ever seen. Yeah. At least in the past year or two. It was just so bad.
Yeah, Jalen.
Derek White's great, but please stop putting him.
He's not great. He's good.
He's
great.
He's a great role player.
He's a very good basketball player. That is all I will.
He's a great role player.
Yeah.
But please stop. Like this is crazy. It's the same thing with the Celtics every year. Like they have like this good team, like this amazing roster, and then like a guy like Derek White. Last year, people were overhyping Brogdon. I think he's a good player too, but they were like, oh, Brogdon. It's like, they're on a really good, talented team, and it's like they're surrounded by Jason Tatum and, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, Drew Holiday. Like, no one's even talking about him anymore.
Yeah,
like, that team is so stacked. Like,
Drew Holiday's actually insane. Like, he's still like any team could use a Drew Holiday, and the only thing he makes $30 million a year.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna find out a lot in the next few weeks, but.
Yeah. How many points does Jacob Toppin have?
I don't know. Good episode, boys.
I got one more thing to say before we log off here.
It's about Royce O'Neal, I'm sure.
No, it's not. It's not about basketball at all. Actually, we getting personal here. So I saw the last podcast y'all had. I actually just watched it a couple of days ago, and Tom Burke. I'm calling you out, buddy. Bro was talking nonsense. Bro said Tua turned the ball over is better than Trevor Lawrence. Bro said Aaron Rodgers is a top 3 quarterback. That is
despicable work. I can't wait to debate you, bro. That you fucking the worst take I've ever seen. I'm coming for you next time.
Pause.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. All right, good. Good. Thanks for coming on, guys.